feathers on top of their head. They're referred to as macaroni penguins, but not because it looks like cheese, but rather because they are named after a group of fashionable young men from a very long time ago called macaroni dandies, who were noted for having big feathers in their hats. That's why they called it macaroni. So we've got two species in here. Both of these species are animals who live in large colonies. So the number of birds in here can actually be increased by about another 10 animals. They really like to live close together because they find safety in numbers. In fact, you're required to actually have quite a few penguins in order to have them on exhibit, because they are very unhappy if they were in very small groups. The macaroni penguins are noted as being called the alpine penguins because of their tendency to be able to climb really, really well. It looks like Jennifer is making her way into the exhibit. She has dinner ready for these birds. This is the third meal for today. In just a minute, when she gets in place, she'll let us know a little bit more about these birds. How are you doing today?
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine. We can hear those macaronis braying by you too.
First I'll tell you a little bit about our birds, and then you can ask any questions that you have. We have two kinds of birds, gentoo penguins and macaroni penguins. The gentoos are excellent underwater swimmers. They can swim 8 to 10 miles per hour underwater. The macaronis are excellent rock climbers. They nest in cliffs in the wild, so they'll climb into those cliffs to nest. Our exhibit is pretty cold. It's about 42 degrees air temperature and water temperature. And the penguins are able to stay nice and warm because they have so many feathers. They have about 70 to 80 feathers per square inch, which keeps them nice and warm. If they do get overheated, you can see the little penguin here holding her flipper out. They have a lot of blood flowing through their flippers, and as the cold air goes over those flippers, it helps bring down their body temperature. Tad, I just told you it's time for their third feeding of the day. Their main diet is a fish called capelin. It looks like this. But their very favorite food is a fish called smelt. And they get about 3 to 12 pounds of smelt a day and about 33 pounds of capelin. I'm going to go ahead and throw some of this into the water and let you guys ask any questions that you have.
All right, so Jennifer's going to toss some of the smelt into the water so we can see some really fun swimming action from the birds. While she's tossing fish in, I'll toss some questions her way if there's something that you guys would like to know more about these animals. So go ahead and ask away. Of course, generally the very first question we always get is, why are they wearing such colorful jewelry?
Those are for identification. Each gentoo has a different color band, and each macaroni has a different color band, and that allows us to tell the birds apart very easily. It would be very difficult to tell penguins apart if we didn't have them band.
There's not even a way to tell distinguish males from females very easily. Lots of times the males are a little larger, but if one is sitting by itself, you don't have anything to compare it to, and that's not necessarily always so. We've got some pretty hefty girls in our population, don't we?
Yes.
Does anyone else have a question about these animals?
I wonder if they'll find it for Instagram.
I was wondering.
Feel free to let me know if you'd like to know anything extra about these birds, and we'll see what Jennifer can tell us about them. Jennifer, were our birds raised here, or did they? With our population, how many have been raised here, and how did we get the other birds?
We have two that were hatched in our exhibit. A gentoo right here. This is the one with the blue band. She's swimming kind of close to the shore now. Her name is Shivers, and she was hatched about a year ago. She's a little over a year old, maybe getting close to a year and a half. And Pepper is right up here on this rock. She's a macaroni penguin, and she was hatched the year before that. So those two were hatched in our exhibit. Our other penguins